The phone call came like a blade across my throat. Her voice was calm, too calm. "We're traveling tomorrow. The beach house and your car are sold. Goodbye." That was my mother's way of severing ties, like cutting the cord to an appliance she didn't need anymore. No hesitation, no remorse, just gone. I let the silence linger before I answered, my tone steady, controlled. "I understand, but you forgot something." She paused. I could hear the smug breath through the receiver. "What do you mean?" I laughed, quiet, sharp, a laugh that belonged to someone who had already won. Growing up, my parents didn't raise me, they trained me. Obedience was currency, affection was rationed, and loyalty, that was demanded, never reciprocated. The beach house wasn't just bricks and glass. It was the only place I felt alive. My father built it with money siphoned from accounts he never thought I'd see. I found the receipts when I was 16, tucked in a box labeled storage. That house, and my car parked in the drive, were always spoken of as ours. But in truth, they were stolen from me long before today. They made me believe my place was to serve, wash floors, stay quiet, never ask. But I asked, I learned, and then I planned. The betrayal didn't shock me, it confirmed what I'd always known. The real sting wasn't losing the house, it was hearing her voice, sweet as venom, discarding me like trash. Most people break when family betrays them. I sharpened. I didn't shout, I didn't beg. I did what I'd always done best. I stayed silent while I wrote my counterattack in my head. Months earlier, subtle shifts told me something was coming. Conversations would end the moment I walked into the room. Bank statements disappeared from the kitchen counter. My father's lawyer, once warm to me, stopped returning calls. So I tested a theory. I moved a piece on the board. One night, I left the house deed on the dining table. Not the real one, of course. A replica. Same stamp, same signatures. I watched my mother glance at it, then quickly look away, pretending not to notice. The performance was too clean. That's how I knew she'd already been digging. That's when I began preparing. The truth is, the beach house she sold wasn't mine to lose. Not anymore. I'd already shifted ownership. Months ago, I had restructured the deed. I transferred it to a trust under my name. Protected, locked, airtight. The lawyer they thought was theirs was already working for me. The sale she bragged about? Fraudulent. Illegal. The buyer she tricked? A shadow I set in motion. And my car? I'd refinanced it, then transferred the title to a company I registered quietly under an alias. On paper, it hadn't been mine for half a year. Every string they tried to pull led back to a web I had already woven. The night they packed their bags, they thought they were walking into freedom, a fresh start, sand, sun, luxury. What they didn't realize was that the house they sold was about to collapse into litigation so deep it would drown them. The fraudulent sale triggered lawsuits. Bank accounts froze. My father's business partners turned on him the moment subpoenas hit. While they scrambled, I moved quietly. I wasn't cruel, I was precise. Back to that phone call. "You forgot something," I repeated. She exhaled sharply, annoyed. "And what's that?" "Me." Silence. A silence so loud I could hear her realization clawing at the back of her throat. I pictured her clutching the phone tighter, her mind racing, wondering what I meant, what I knew. So I gave her one more cut. "By tomorrow, you'll understand." Then I hung up. The morning of their escape, my father called 12 times. I let the phone vibrate across the table, each ring another piece of panic building on his end. When I finally answered, his voice was cracked, frantic. "What did you do? The sale is blocked. The money's frozen. What the hell is happening?" I let him sweat. Then I told him the truth in one clean sentence. "You sold air. You never owned the house you thought you did." The silence that followed wasn't confusion, it was collapse. He knew. He finally understood. That day, instead of sipping cocktails in their new paradise, they were sitting in a lawyer's office, facing consequences I had written for them. I didn't need to scream for justice. I didn't need to beg for love. All I ever wanted was freedom. And now, it's mine. I sit in the real beach house, the one under my name, the one they'll never touch again, listening to the waves. They thought they erased me. They forgot I was the ink.